If you guys have not already seen the latest video from Brian Shaw's channel, DEVON LARRATT has been instructing Brian on exactly how to train for arm wrestling. DEVON ended up getting rid of a lot of Brian's handles and basically just showing him the very root of the sport, the absolute fundamentals, things like back pressure, pronation, rise, multi-spinner, all of the things that DEVON trains on a daily basis. So of course in this video, DEVON ends up showing Brian the notorious pronation lift, and we got to see Brian trying this lift. Let's look at the clip and then discuss afterward.
Get nice and low. There you go. Beautiful. Easy. Like that. Easy. Yeah.
So one of the things I was really interested to see when we heard that Brian Shaw was getting into arm wrestling was how strong was he going to be in vectors like pronation or like wrist rise. I figured that Brian's cupping was probably going to be really good. Of course his grip strength was going to be super good, his ability to row backward or to rise upward was going to be very good because he had been training these things for years and years in strongman. But I wasn't necessarily convinced that his wrist rise or that his pronation was going to be naturally good from training strongman, because I'm not sure that there's anything that directly correlates to that vector in the sport of strongman. I was wondering if Brian would be someone who just had a super huge imbalance, like maybe his back pressure was at 100 kilos already, but his pronation was not even at 50 kilos just because he'd never trained that. Of course he could catch up very fast after this, but it would be a bit of an awkward starting point for him. But we see in that clip that Brian is lifting 90 pounds, and it looks like it's not even a warm-up for him. He can kick his wrist back as far as he wants to, just like DEVON does, and he's actually curling the weight actively instead of just rocking back and lifting it isometrically. It seems clear to me that the sport of strongman does have a significant carryover to arm wrestling, because it looks like Brian's max on this lift is already way over 100 pounds, and it might be even higher than DEVON's. Most amateur arm wrestlers can't even do 90 pounds on this lift row 1 rep max, and Brian is throwing it around like it's not even there. So let me know what you guys thought about this lift. I know it doesn't give us a ton of information, but I am guessing that Brian can do way more than this. Maybe he can do something like 50% more than this at the moment, and I won't be surprised if Brian Shaw is going to be beating DEVON's records without too much training time. I'm super excited to see how much Brian can do on these lifts if he actually tries a little bit. Hopefully we get to see those numbers in the coming months.